I wasn't looking for anything. That's the part that gets me. I was scrolling through our shared album because I wanted that photo from our anniversary dinner, the one with the cheap candle and the takeout boxes. I thought it'd make her laugh. We used to laugh about stuff like that. Only, the photo wasn't there. I thought maybe I saved it wrong. Maybe it was under a different folder. I searched anniversary. Nothing. Tried the date, nothing. I knew I'd uploaded it. I remember cropping it. Even added that dumb little heart sticker because she said it made things cuter. But the album was gone. Not just that night, the whole month. So I checked the Vegas trip, gone. The cabin weekend where she wore that oversized hoodie and refused to brush her hair, gone. The heart-shaped pancake breakfast she once posted with "best morning ever," gone. All of it. I didn't say anything that day. Just sat with the silence, clicking through empty folders. I checked the shared drive logs. Nothing looked off. But I remembered she had editing rights too. Later that night, she came home tired. Said work had been crazy. Her hair was damp. She smelled like cucumber body wash and peppermint gum. Not her usual mix. I noticed because she usually smelled like citrus and vanilla. She tossed her purse on the bench, asked if we had any clean towels left. I said yeah, pointed toward the closet. Then she went straight to the shower. I was sitting on the couch when I remembered she needed her phone charger. She had mentioned it that morning, left it in her tote. So I stood up, walked over to grab it. Her bag was open. Not wide open, just slightly. Like it always is. I didn't even have to move anything. The charger was in the side pocket, but something white was poking out from between her sunglasses case and that little metal pill box she carries for headaches. It was stiff, the paper. Thick. I pulled it out. A receipt. Crisp. Folded once, not crumpled. It had the hotel logo right at the top, kind of embossed. The kind of paper that feels expensive for no reason. Two and tres. One bottle of champagne. One chocolate torte. I kept reading. Room service. Timestamp. Gugundi 47 p.m. Same night as our anniversary. Same night she texted me at 6 p.m. to say her boss needed her to stay late. Same night I ate leftover stir-fry alone and rewatched the first movie we ever saw together. She'd said she was too tired, that we could do something special next weekend. I stared at the receipt, not even trying to hide it, just tossed in like gum wrappers and spare change. And the weirdest part? I didn't feel anything. Not then. No rage, no sadness, no panic. Just stillness. I slid the receipt back exactly where I found it, grabbed the charger, sat back down. She came out 15 minutes later, with wet hair and her favorite robe. Said, "Hey, thanks for grabbing that." Like nothing happened. I nodded. She sat next to me, put her feet in my lap. I turned on the TV and pretended to watch. She didn't notice I wasn't blinking, didn't notice I didn't speak for the rest of the episode. She fell asleep during the credits, and I just sat there, with the weight of that hotel paper burning in my mind. 7 years. That's how long we were together. Met in the most boring way imaginable, a backyard BBQ at a mutual friend's place. I was holding a plate of undercooked ribs. She was wearing sunglasses too big for her face and yelling about how no one brings real potato salad anymore. I laughed. She smirked. We spent the rest of the evening debating the right way to butter corn. It wasn't love at first sight. It was ease. She moved in after 11 months. We got a cheap apartment with creaky pipes and thin walls. Our neighbors smoked on the balcony and yelled at football games, and we kind of loved that too. We painted the kitchen walls light blue. She said it made mornings feel softer. We adopted a rescue dog, a weird little mutt with one ear that never stood up. Named him Oliver. She cried the first night he slept between us. She had this thing about memories. Always wanted to document everything. Birthdays, road trips, even grocery hauls if something looked weird. One day, she said, "We'll be old and gray and scroll through this stuff and laugh." I used to tease her for taking 30 photos of the same coffee mug. But she'd say, "No, this one has the light just right." She wasn't sentimental in a sappy way, just obsessed with remembering. Like if she captured it, it would stay. Our 5th anniversary, we didn't do anything fancy. Chinese takeout, 2 sets of chopsticks even though she never used hers. An old black and white movie she picked because it made her feel classic. She wore that oversized t-shirt with the faded record label on it. We sat on the floor, shared bubble tea. She made me take a picture holding the takeout box like a trophy. I pretended to complain, but I smiled. She posted it that night with the caption, "5 years of putting up with me. He deserves a medal." That night still feels warm. I remember the way she tucked her feet under my leg, the way she leaned her head on my shoulder during the movie, the way she said, "This is perfect," as she exhaled. And I believed her. I thought that was the stuff that mattered, that even if we weren't flashy, we were solid. Looking back now, it's hard to say when that picture changed meaning. At the time, it felt like a promise. Now, it feels like the last time she meant anything she said. It didn't happen all at once. That's what messes with your head the most. It wasn't some big betrayal out of the blue. It was slow, quiet, little things, always little things at first. Her phone started flipping while we're doing dinner. Not in a dramatic way, just subtle, like, "Oh, I want to focus on us," kind of gesture. But it was new. She never used to do that. Then she started laughing at her phone more. Text bubbles lighting up. She'd tilt the screen away, smirk, and say, "Work memes. You wouldn't get it." She stopped using our shared playlist in the car, said it was too predictable. She downloaded a new app for music, the kind with those weird ambient mixes and curated vibes. She let it shuffle. Never skipped a song even if it was bad. One night, she said she was running to Walgreens, asked if I needed anything. She left in joggers and a hoodie. Came back with a glossy bag of skincare stuff and smelling like she'd just stepped out of a perfume commercial. I asked, "Why the perfume for Walgreens?" She laughed. "You notice everything." I sprayed it earlier. Must have lingered. Except I'd been in the apartment all evening. She hadn't sprayed anything. Another time, we had a hike plan. Something simple, just a weekend trail we'd done before. She canceled last minute. Said she had cramps. I made tea. Offered to stay home, watch reruns. She told me to go anyway, that I needed fresh air. So I went. Halfway through the hike, I opened Instagram to post a photo of the view. That's when I saw it. Her story, rooftop bar, string lights, laughing with 3 girls I didn't recognize. Tag, girls' night. Caption, needed this. I didn't say anything when I got home. She was already asleep, or pretending to be. The next morning she made eggs. Asked how the hike was. I told her it was quiet. She nodded, said, "Sometimes that's the best kind of peace." Another time, she called me Jake by accident. I paused. She froze, then laughed it off. "I was reading an email from work, my brain's fried." I asked, "Jake from work?" She shrugged. "He's on the marketing team. You don't know him." She started bringing up these work friends more. People I'd never met. Always just friends. Always male names I hadn't heard before. And here eyes. She used to hold eye contact too long. Said it made her feel connected. Now, her eyes dodged mine like I was trying to look through her. I told myself it was stress. She'd been working more. Deadlines, meetings, new clients. She said I was being clingy, that I was hovering. I backed off, gave her space. But space didn't bring us closer. It turned into distance. Conversations became surface level. She'd smile, but it didn't reach. She kissed me goodnight, but I couldn't feel her in it. And still, I said nothing. Because I wanted to believe it was just a rough patch, that every long relationship had them, that it was a phase. But a phase doesn't feel like mourning someone who's still in the room. The receipt wasn't the first crack. It was just the one I couldn't unsee. By then, I had started collecting things. Quietly. Not in a paranoid way. Not like some obsessed boyfriend snooping through drawers. Just recording. A memory here. A timestamp there. She once said she was working late on a Tuesday. Said the client pitch got pushed back and they had to do a last-minute revision. But I happened to walk past her laptop later that week while she was getting ready for bed. Calendar was open. Tuesday's block read, Self-care night, she said her boss was brutal, said she was under pressure. She didn't know I'd taken a screenshot with my phone when she wasn't looking. I wasn't even sure why I did it at the time. Just felt like something I'd want to remember. Like I needed proof that my gut wasn't lying. Then came the receipt. Room 812. Tu entres. Tiramisu. Bottle of champagne. Timestamp. Devi forset PM. She came home that night with wet hair. Told me their office was having plumbing issues, so she'd used the locker room showers. But I'd been to her office building. I dropped off lunch there, walked the halls. They didn't have a gym, no locker rooms, no showers, just a single unisex bathroom per floor. I didn't say anything. I just nodded, asked if she wanted tea. She said she was too tired, that her head was pounding. Then she went to bed and fell asleep in less than 2 minutes. I watched her chest rise and fall under the blanket, watched the way her hand curled under the pillow like she had nothing to hide. And I lay there holding that paper, that cheap, glossy paper. It had a watermark on the back, a logo of the hotel. I held it up to the light like it would give me answers. The details made me sick. 2 entrees, not just one. She didn't even like tiramisu. Said it reminded her of wet bread. Champagne. We hadn't had champagne in over a year. She said it gave her headaches, but there it was, clear as day. I turned the paper over, reread it. Room 812. I could see it in my mind. A hallway, a tray on the floor, heels kicked off, her laugh. I stared at the receipt until the corners started to crumple in my fingers. Eventually, I slipped it into a book on my nightstand, a hardcover she gave me 2 years ago. Something about relationships and rituals. The irony stung. I didn't sleep that night. I listened to her breathing, counted the seconds between the radiator clicks, let silence wrap around me like wet cement. The next day, she acted normal. Made coffee, scrolled her phone, showed me a meme about ducks crossing the road. She laughed. Look, this one reminds me of that time we got stuck behind geese for 20 minutes in New Jersey. I smiled, said, yeah, that was funny. I remembered it too. That trip was real. But I also remembered the anniversary folder gone, the pancake breakfast gone, and now this. She poured 2 glasses of orange juice, sat across from me like everything was fine. I stared at her hands, her chipped nail polish, the little scar on her wrist from opening a beer bottle wrong. Familiar things that didn't feel safe anymore. After breakfast, she kissed me on the cheek and said she'd be late again. Another long day. I asked if she wanted me to pick up dinner. She said no, that she'd probably just grab something on the way. I watched her tie her shoes. She hummed. And I wanted to scream, but I didn't. I let her leave. Then I opened that book and looked at the receipt again. Still there. Still real. That's when I knew. Not because of what she said, but because of everything she didn't. There was no confrontation, no yelling, no dramatic fight in the kitchen, just a shift. Inside me, I started moving like a man who already knew the answer. I backed up everything, our shared drives, the old photo albums, vacation folders, quietly unlinked my name from her cloud account. I opened a private checking account, something I hadn't touched since before we moved in together. I made a list of every bill with both our names on it, power, internet, subscriptions, and started changing logins one by one. Nothing she'd notice right away. Just slow exits. I went through old documents, copied down account numbers, updated passwords to things she never used. I even started journaling. It sounds stupid, I know, but a therapist I saw once years ago, after my dad passed, told me to track the small truths. Said sometimes your brain gaslights you when your heart wants to believe something else. So I wrote. Each entry started the same. Here's what I noticed today. She started getting comfortable again. Ironically, the more I disconnected, the more relaxed she became. She left her laptop open again, didn't take her phone into the bathroom anymore. It was like she thought the danger had passed. One night, while she was in the shower, I sat down at her desk. Didn't have to hack anything. No guessing games. No secret software. Just opened her browser history. But hotel autofill did the rest. 3 different confirmations in her inbox, same boutique hotel, different dates. All late nights she said were client dinners. One email was from a personal Gmail. The reservation name didn't match hers, but the confirmation went to her account. She had forwarded it to herself. There was a note at the bottom. Late checkout confirmed. Parking validated. I clicked on one rideshare receipt. Pickup, our apartment. Drop off, hotel. Time, 6:12 p.m. Same night she told me she had a migraine and needed to sleep early. Another thread caught my eye. Subject line, client dinner. No client names, no meeting notes, just heart emojis, jokes about room service calories, a photo of her half-dressed in a mirror, and one line that made my chest go hollow. Wi-Fi is slow here, but worth it. Followed by the actual hotel Wi-Fi login. She had saved it. Saved the Wi-Fi password like it was part of her routine. I didn't take screenshots, didn't forward anything. Just sat there for a while, staring at the glow of the screen, listening to the shower run. She was humming some song I used to play on Sunday mornings while I made eggs. I closed the laptop gently, wiped my fingerprints from the lid, walked into the kitchen and poured a glass of water. She came out 10 minutes later wrapped in a towel, steam trailing behind her, saw me standing there and smiled. "Babe, you okay?" she asked. I said, "Yeah, just thinking." She kissed me on the cheek, went to the bedroom, and that was it. She didn't ask what I was thinking, didn't notice I didn't follow her, didn't feel the shift, but I did. I'd already begun the process of leaving, and she didn't even know she'd lost me. She left that Saturday morning just after 8. Spa weekend, girls only. Said it had been on the books for weeks. Said they were going off-grid, no phones, no drama, just eucalyptus steam and wine spritzers. She kissed me on the cheek, asked if I needed anything while she was gone. I said, "No, I'm good." She smiled, slipped on her sunglasses, wheeled out her little pink carry-on, and left. I waited 30 minutes, just enough time to be sure she wasn't coming back for a forgotten charger. Then I made the call. The movers arrived at 9. 1. 2 guys. Professional. No questions. I handed them a list. Told them I only needed what was mine. Nothing shared. Nothing petty. They started in the bedroom. I packed my clothes, shoes, laptop, books, Oliver's leash, his food, his stupid little green frog toy with one eye missing. The dog followed me from room to room, watching like he knew. In the hallway closet, I pulled down the vinyl box. Every record she said was too scratchy. I kept them all. One box labeled memories, old letters, a camera we never used, a boarding pass from our first trip to Denver. I hesitated at the bookshelf. She loved alphabetizing them, said it made the room breathe. I left them. In the living room, I unplugged my speakers, took the spare headphones, left the ones she always borrowed for her podcasts. The kitchen was last. I opened the fridge, left the takeout containers, half a pad thai, a slice of banana bread, a bottle of almond milk she swore helped her skin. I didn't touch a thing, just unplugged the fridge light. She wouldn't notice right away. In the bedroom, I opened the drawer where she kept her jewelry, dropped the ring inside the one we picked together. Simple, gold, hers. She used to say it felt soft on her finger. I didn't leave a note. Just one thing. On the nightstand, I placed the scrapbook, the anniversary one, the one she made for us during year 3, filled with photos, ticket stubs, little notes in her messy handwriting. She had left the last page blank, said we'd fill it in later. I did. I printed the hotel receipt, folded it clean, taped it across the empty page. It fit perfectly. By noon, everything I needed was loaded into the truck. Oliver sat in the front seat of my car like he'd been waiting his whole life to leave. He didn't look back. Didn't do a final sweep. The door clicked shut behind me like punctuation. I changed my number that night, canceled the shared Spotify, opened new accounts with new passwords, logged out of everything that used to say us. The next morning, I woke up in a furnished short-term apartment 2 neighborhoods away. It smelled like someone else's detergent, and I didn't mind. For the first time in months, my phone didn't buzz. No unread texts, no unread doubts, just silence. And Oliver curled up at the foot of the bed, She came home on a Sunday evening, hair wrapped in a towel, sandals clacking on the hardwood, probably expecting candles or leftovers. Maybe some dumb joke about cucumber water and spa playlists. Instead, she found space. Closet hell empty. The bowl gone. No shoes by the door. No charger cord curled on the nightstand. She called me 37 times. Back to back. Rapid fire at first, then spaced out. Voicemails. Where are you? What's going on? Can we please talk? He didn't respond. She texted 11 times. The first few were confusion, then anger, then panic. She didn't say sorry. She said things like, "You're being dramatic. We can fix this. You just disappeared?" One mutual friend called me, said she was a mess, that she didn't understand. Said, "She's crying, man. Really crying. Are you okay?" I told him, "Yeah, that's all." Another friend, hers, not mine, DM'd me a week later, said, "She's not even sorry. Just embarrassed she got caught." That one stuck. I still remember the wording. Not hurt. Not heartbroken. Embarrassed. 3 weeks after I moved out, she emailed me once. Subject, "I miss what we had." 3 sentences. All past tense. No questions. I hit forward. Attached the hotel receipt. No message. No greeting. She never replied. Never emailed again. 2 months later, her name came off the lease. 6 months after that, someone told me she moved cities. New job. New number. He never followed up. Never told anyone the whole story. Not my parents. Not my friends. When they asked what happened, I said, things changed. Which was true. They just didn't change all at once. They eroded, bit by bit, until all that was left was absence. Life is smaller now, not worse. Just quieter. I eat dinner on the couch most nights, sometimes at the kitchen counter. Oliver curls up next to me like he always did. He's older now. Slower. Greets me with that same one floppy ear look like nothing ever changed. I still take photos. I don't post them anymore. I keep them in a private folder. No hashtags, no captions, just for me. Moments don't need witnesses to matter. That's something I had to relearn. For a long time, I thought the worst part was the betrayal, the lying, the receipts, but it wasn't. It was the editing, how she deleted things like they meant nothing, like our memories were files she could mute, crop, erase. She didn't even try to hide it, didn't think she had to, and that's what stayed with me. Not the cheating, not the champagne, not the damn tiramisu she pretended to hate, but the way she made it all disposable, like I was a phase, a placeholder. She erased entire weekends, trips, photos of our dog wearing those ridiculous party hats she insisted on. Gone. But the receipt? That stayed. It's still in my drawer, pressed flat, untouched, not because I need revenge, not because I want to remember, but because it's the one thing she didn't get to rewrite. And that's enough. I don't tell the story often. Most people don't know. If they ask, I just say, we ended things. And in a way, we did. She ended the pretending. I ended the listening. I don't need closure. I needed distance, and I got it. Funny thing is, I used to think closure meant answers, conversations, some kind of reckoning. Turns out, the best closure is being the only one who still remembers what happened and not needing to remind her. This is Cheating Confessions. If you've ever been betrayed by the one you trusted most, hit subscribe. You're not alone.